All right, everybody, let's get to it. Today's training is going to be all about how to make you more money in your business. And we have got some fascinating ground to cover today. And it is going to be very, very, very exciting. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at gathering this really important lesson from a $240 billion industry and how you can apply it directly into your small business today. My name is Michael Bridgman, and for those who don't know me, I am a multi-business owner entrepreneur, and I have spent the better part of the last 10 years dedicating myself to figuring out how to help small business owners market and brand themselves more effectively through excellent content and branding strategy. So without any further ado, I am going to quickly share my screen here, and we are going to jump into this. So let's go to right here. Share. Perfect. Okay. So the ground that we're going to cover here today is something that's, wow, it's really, really important. Okay. And the reason I say that is because I, like a lot of you, was floundering with my social media. I knew it was important. I could see how critical social media was. I could see it, and you've probably seen it too, right? You see these huge brands, like someone like The Rock, and he invests in tequila. I don't remember the name of it right now, but he turns this tequila company from nothing into a massive multi-billion-dollar company seemingly overnight, right? Branding and social media and the reach that these things can give us is amazing. And it's incredibly valuable. And now you're a small business owner if you're watching this. So you may not need that kind of reach. But the fact is, you want to gather something out of your marketing, something out of your content, something out of your social media reach, because you have an important message. You've got a product or a service that can help people in this world. And really what our goal together is to figure out how to best get that into more people's hands. And we're going to take a look at this key lesson. Okay, this big time lesson from a $240 billion, that is billion with a B, industry. And we're going to flesh out how you can use it today to help your business. All right. So before we dive into that, first things first, there is only, guys, 3 ways to make more money. That's it. If you're in business, the great part about this is that so much of business is simple. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it's simple, right? It's like, I always say to people, building a great business is like digging a really good fence, right? Building a really good fence. A lot of the time it's relatively simple. You dig the hole, you put the post in, dig a hole, you put the next post in, you put the fence pieces in, done, next section, right? Like, it's not complicated. Business doesn't have to be complicated. Does that make it easy? No. It requires discipline, it requires persistence, it requires vision, requires all these things. And in a business world, you need marketing, sales, and operations. Those are 3 keys. So in order to make more money in your business, you really have only 3 options. So what are these options? You have to increase your sales. You have to increase your price. You have to decrease your costs. That's it. Okay. So a lot of you might be thinking, oh, well, it's pretty obvious, Michael. Yeah, but that's really it. Okay. And today's training, we are going to focus specifically on how you increase sales. So the first option here. So how do you increase sales in your business? This training is not going to be about increasing your prices or finding more margin there. This is not going to be about decreasing costs and looking at your operations. Those are all things that as small business owners, we need to look at, obviously, but that's not what this training is about. Okay. That's not what this training is about whatsoever. And in order to increase, though, your sales, you need to do 2 things. There's only really 2 ways to do that. 3 ways to increase your business. We're focusing on sales. There's only 2 ways to increase your sales. Okay. Increase leads, right? Now there are more people coming in, or you sell more stuff to the existing customers that you have. That's how you increase your sales. And this training, you guys, is going to focus entirely on the first one. How to increase your leads, right? And how to do that effectively through social media. That's what this training is going to be about. We're going to take this lesson from the $240 billion industry that I was talking about, which I'm going to mention in just a second. We're going to take that lesson and we're going to start to apply it to your social media strategy. Okay. And with those that sort of concept in mind, what we're going to show you today is how to improve, how to get great traction on your social media with this specific strategy, and how you can do it right away. You can do this today if you want to. It doesn't take a whole lot of setup. It doesn't take a whole lot of work. It just takes some specific things in place for you to be able to pull it off. Does that sound good? Okay, awesome. Now, before we get there, I have a couple questions though, okay? So I want to make sure that you're in the exact right place for what we're talking about here. So I just want you to quickly write some things down. So if you don't have a pen and a piece of paper right now, I'm going to gap you, as they call it. So grab a pen. So grab a pen, because there's just some quick questions here to have yourself answer, because these are going to be really indicative as to where you're at and how best to apply what it is that we're going to be talking about. So if you need to pause this training, go ahead, pause it. And you can go do that, because we're going to jump into a few quick questions. So if you need to pause the training so you can grab a pen and a piece of paper, go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to jump back to my screen. Here we go. Okay. So hopefully you're back and you have your pen and your paper. First off, I'm going to ask you just a few quick questions here, okay? So if the answer is no, you mark down a 0 to the question. If the answer is yes, you mark down a 2, okay? So do you have monthly revenue goals for your business right now? And this is very straightforward. You either do have them, which is a yes, so that's worth 2 points, or you don't have them, which is a no, which is worth 0 points. No judgment. I don't care. This is just informative for you. I'm never going to see this, but this just helps you. Okay. So first question is monthly revenue goals. Do you have any? No is a yes, is a 0. Yes is 2. Mark that down. Okay. Next. Do you have a Facebook business page? No equals 0. Yes is 2. Do you have a Facebook business page? Okay. And just for time's sake here, these are the other 3 questions to quickly answer. Do you post to socials regularly? Regularly means at least once a day, right? Are you posting to your socials at least once a day? Do you have a marketing budget? Once again, no equals 0, 2, or yes equals 2. And do you have a lead magnet? Now, this is something that you give to your prospects to turn them into leads. All right. So this is something you would give to your audience to turn into a lead. This could be a free PDF document that you've done, a cool training that you've got. People will say all the time, book a free estimate, and in some industries that could work as a lead magnet, although it's not a great one. Some people say, let's book a consultation call, that type of thing. Sorry, guys, my business is busy, so you might hear the phone ring. I do apologize. If those aren't real lead magnets, you guys, and we can get into that later on in a different training as we explore different concepts of lead magnets. But this is something, this could be a coupon, a discount, a free PDF, a free product, a demo, a trial. Those types of things are all really good lead magnets. And they might be something that you want to either develop if you don't have one right now, or if you've got one, that equals 2 points. 2. Okay. So we'll talk about your score on this a little bit later, but you should have a 0 or 2 answer to these 5 questions. Monthly revenue, Facebook business page. Do you post regularly, meaning once a day? Do you have a marketing budget? And do you have a lead magnet? Okay, cool. So let's get to it. What is this industry that I'm talking about, and how exactly does this industry operate? Like, what exactly is it doing that you can model today? All right. So first things first, the industry is the infomercial business, right? In doing a bunch of research into some of the best, most effective marketing of all time, I kept stumbling onto the infomercial business. And I'm a small business owner myself. So I want to grow my marketing consulting company. I want to grow my brick and mortar company. I'm investing in other companies at the same time and want to make sure I can help them grow. That's the whole point. So over the last 18 months, I've been doing all of this digging around. And really, I kept coming back to the same answer in so many places. The infomercial business is an incredibly powerful example and model that we can use. Now, I'm not talking about being all salesy or cheesy and salesy. Salesy, there's a new word. Cheesy and salesy. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm not talking about the slap chop guy or anything like that, although they did very, very well. Right. But these people make some of the absolute best sales content on the planet. And you don't have to just believe me. Okay. Like, stop my share for a sec here. Like, let's take a look. I mean, look at some of this sales content. And you might be wondering, I mean, they make long form sales content. Yeah, they really do. Like, look at this. This is on the shopping channel. Okay, TSC, 56 minutes, 57 minutes, 1 hour, 56 minutes. Okay, 56 minutes, 1 hour. Like, they're doing all of this long form content. You see, as seen on TV, all of this informative, right? Some of these are 60 seconds, some of them are 90 seconds, some of them are a few minutes long. 15,000 views, right? 17,000 views on some of this stuff. Long form content that sells things is a proven model, and it's very effective. Very, very effective. And what we've come to realize is that we're doing content. Like, you probably want to do content on your page. That's why you're here. You want to do informative, educational content, things that help other people, that establish you as an authority figure, right? That help people realize that you're an expert in your industry, that you can actually help them. But the problem is that so often from our content, we don't make an offer that really gets them to do anything. Or the offer is, reach out to me if you need any help. Well, guys, how often is that going to happen? Right? So all of these, when I started to study this industry, I realized, okay, most of these companies are making really powerful pitches throughout their, 57-minute long pitch, right? They're talking about the product. They're demoing the product, as you can see right here. They're looking at it. They're showing it on different people, what it looks like, right? It's informative and it's educational, talking about why this particular version is better, what makes it unique, all this stuff. The infomercial industry has been holding on to these secrets that we, as small business owners, can use very, very effectively. And the fact is, we need to be doing this, right? We need to be doing this. I just want to make sure my share is working properly here. Hang on a sec. I just want to share screen too. That's what I want. Okay. So how exactly do these infomercials pull it off, right? Because they work like crazy. This industry is massive. So first off, they're very informative and they're very educational. Now, we see this in content all the time. But the tricky part is that you need your content to produce results, the same as I need my content to produce results. Likes and shares, well, frankly, they don't pay any of my bills, right? So we need that content to turn into actual leads and results. Well, the shopping channels, these big, huge infomercial networks, they do this beautifully. So they're very informative. They're very educational. They use time as an investment tool, right? So you're watching them. You're investing your time into this 58-minute long YouTube, right? Or into these long commercials that, like, I've seen, they're still running on television. Like, occasionally my wife will still bang into these things at night, at midnight or whatever, when we're flicking through the channels, right? When we haven't got Netflix on. But these are, they build trust over time, right? And they make offers over time, and they make offers throughout their content. It's very powerful. And it reaches a big, wide audience, right? These infomercials were made famous by television. Television was the conduit to a huge audience. So the infomercials paying for that reach. Okay, so they're doing informative and educational content. Check, you probably can do that, right? They're basically having people invest time into what it is that they're doing, right? Whether they're showing, demoing, teaching, demonstrating the value, and they're making offers multiple times over a period of time. You can do that. And they're broadening their reach. They're expanding their reach. And this is the one thing that we're going to talk about today, right? And they're doing this by paying for it. They're paying the television stations to really, they're paying the channels to really get their reach out there and be seen by millions upon millions of people. Now, you might not need to be seen by millions and millions of people, but it turns out we can take advantage of all the same things through our social media content. And that is not to say that you have to act like an infomercial. That's not what I'm getting at. The scripting that we've been working on with our own clients for this is different. It's not infomercial style whatsoever. It has little peaks of it. We're trying to pull the stuff that really works and apply it to what it is that we do. It doesn't have to be all salesy. It doesn't have to be all slap choppy, right? But the fact is that we can use the concepts. We can model these effective sales processes and these really effective marketing techniques and apply them to you and your business. So why are we doing this? Like, what does this really mean? And how do we apply it? So first off, we have the channels, okay? Social media has given us the ability to act like these big brands, but do them on a local scale or do it on a micro scale, depending on what we want our reach to be. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, etc. All of these are channels with millions, in some cases, billions of potential viewers. Okay. So you and I have the challenge, or the channels, I should say, at our fingertips. Okay. So we have the reach. Boom. Check. We've got that. Next thing. What could you put on these? Okay. So we can talk about the things that we're good at. So we can demo the products or services that we've got. We can do how-to videos, right? I've seen really, even local plumbers, for example, do little quick how-to videos and put them up on their social media and get lots of traction, right? How to fix a leaky sink. You might think it's pulling business away from them, but the fact is they're establishing themselves in the local market as an authority figure. And they know full well, here's the thing I want to tell you guys. Big secret here, okay? It's really not that big, but it's true. People can Google anything. They can Google anything. Word to the wise. It's very true. You can Google anything, which means information is a commodity, which means it's low-hanging fruit. It's not that valuable anymore. So if you're doing how-to videos, it's not, you should be thinking about you establishing yourself as an authority figure and an expert, not worry about whether or not that person is going to buy from you, because ultimately, if they love what you're teaching, if they love how you do it, they try it themselves and it still doesn't work out for them. Technically, what they're going to want to do is just hire you to do it. In other words, give away great information on how to get things done and then pay people, get people to pay you, charge for the implementation, charge for the doing. Right? If you're a coach and you're watching this right now, if you're a course creator, you're watching this right now, give away parts of your roadmap to success. Give away parts of what it is that you're going to do through education. Teach people how to set better goals, how to get your budget in line, right? We're pulling out, let's call it phase 4 of our 7-part series on how to bake better cakes. And this one's all about icing. Talk about icing, how to do it. Right? And, if you want a course on how to bake a whole cake, this is where to go get it. Right? Establish that authority. So these are different things that we can do in our content. So demos, how-to videos, training, step-by-steps, interview of other experts that you might have in your field, all these different things. Okay? And then the third thing, how we can copy and model the infomercial business is that these channels allow us to buy reach, just the same as the infomercials buy attention. It's the same thing. And we get to buy this at our own pace. $5 a day worth of exposure, $10 a day worth of exposure, $15 a day worth of exposure, whatever, $1,500 a day worth of exposure, whatever you want, whatever you see is working. The great part about especially Facebook and Instagram is that you can dial in your ads. And as they work, as you're testing different content pieces, as you're testing different headlines and different ways of attracting attention, you can dial these things up, go, oh, this one's really good. I'm going to add some more money per day. And you can go into your Facebook Ads Manager and you can do all that. Now, that might be scary to you. I totally get it. But here's the great thing, my friends. You can Google how to use Facebook Ads Manager. Or you can pay experts like us on doing it for you. But the fact is you can... The know-how, right? The information is easy to come by, is my point. And that demonstrates the power of what we're talking about. Okay, so let's recap. What we're talking about today is how this big lesson from a $240 billion industry, okay? And that lesson is, in order to increase sales, we need to increase leads. And in order to increase leads, right, what we need to do is have more conversations, get more traction on what it is that we're talking about. And so how do we want to do this? We want to be informative and educational through channels. We've got the channels right here. Okay, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, etc. We have channels to push out our message, to get our expertise out there to help other people. We've got those things. We now have some ideas on what we can talk about. So a demo of products or services, how-to videos, training step-by-steps, interviewing of other experts, etc. And we're allowed to buy reach on these channels. This is the big lesson. Now, what I'm going to get to in just a second is how to really effectively use this lesson. Okay, because there are lots of pitfalls surrounding this. So I want to talk about, because I don't want you to just turn off this training. We got a little bit of time left. I want you to turn off the training and just go, oh, I'm just going to go do some informative content. I mean, you can, it's fine. But the fact is that there's some really key methods to effectively do this that's going to help you that comes later in this training. And I don't want you to just sort of go off and do this without some of those extra little pieces. But that's the big lesson that I found, is that content, sales content works really effectively. And in fact, I'm going to show you some examples of that in a bit that we can use that are more local level examples. But the truth of the matter is that we can act very similar to how infomercials act, create lots of authority and engagement in our communities from doing value content. And then the way we structure it, which is what I'm going to get into in a minute here, the way we structure it, you're drawing out leads from that audience and then creating conversations, because conversations lead to leads, leads lead to sales. We all on board with that? Okay, cool. So before I dive into the next thing, before I dive into how to do this content, and to get really clear, because there's 3 keys that I want to dive into with this particular style of content that we've been testing in the marketplace over the last few months. We've seen tremendous results from it, and we've had to tweak along the way. So I want to give you those tweaks, show you what we've done, so you can see that and you can just model it yourself. Okay. Now, with that in mind, though, before we dive into those things, I want to have you just write down a few ideas of what type of content you could do. What are some of the how-to things that you could do, right? What are some of the step-by-steps that you could share? What are some of those ideas? So if you think about your client base, think about what it is that you do. What are some things that you could show them or teach them today that they would find interesting, find appealing, and that you'd be able to go, okay, like this could generate some traction. This could demonstrate me as an authority and someone who really knows what they're doing and could help them solve a problem. So just real quick, pause the video and jump over there and just take a little quick look at what you think might be able to help you get to that next, or get that next level of leads coming out for you. Okay. So pause the video if you need to. Tripping over words, I haven't had, obviously I'm working on too much coffee, maybe. Okay. So if you're back, great. Now I want to dive into these 3 keys. So there's really 3 key elements that these content pieces, these posts, really need to have. And I'm going to be flat out up front. We've tested both the written version and the video version. They both work. So if you're afraid of the camera, that's okay. It's all right. What we're talking about works even in the written format, although it is a little better in video. Just totally upfront, a little better in video. So let's dive over here and jump into what we're talking about. And this, I just want to show you guys here. This is the shopping channel, right? And so you can see long form content on their Facebook page. Okay. This is why they're doing it. Now, they could really use our method. They could use some help here, because to me, this is not enough comments and shares for what they're doing. So that's a totally different ball of wax, and maybe I need to call TSC. Okay, so let me grab my written stuff here. So as I was mentioning before, there's a few things that we need to make sure we get covered in order for us to succeed. Okay. So first of all, you cannot pay your mortgage with likes, and you can't put food on the table with shares. You and I know this. These things, right, don't pay the bills. And I wound up getting into I had to let this person go actually from my media company because they were super focused on what I would call the vanity metrics, likes, shares, right, reach. And I said, look, none of those things pay my bills. None of those things work. And we actually did a bit of a contest, an internal little competitive contest at the beginning part of this year. So in January, I started to test some stuff, and I produced content designed for, and mostly about what we're talking about today, designed to get people to raise their hand and say, yes, I'm interested. She produced content that was more just sexy, flashy, and was going to get reach. She was very successful at it. She got tons of reach, you guys. Lots of audience participation. She got lots of people raising their hand, or sorry, not raising their hand, sharing things and commenting and doing lots of likes, I should say. Right? They were tapping their thumbs. But thumb tapping doesn't make me any money. Doesn't make you any money. So we had to develop content strategies that actually created leads out of the traction we were getting. And when I started to ramp up that, the results were absolutely awesome. I ran into a big problem though, which I'm going to get into in a bit, but the results were awesome. The other thing is that you can't spend all day recording content. I know that. You know that, right? At some point, you need to be selling to people. At some point, you need to be serving clients. At some point, you need to be actually running a business, not just marketing one, right? And so what we're talking about is a way of recording content and doing what you do in a very efficient way so that you're putting out sort of one or two of these concepts of posts every week. Daily doesn't work, okay? But you're putting out one or two every week to draw leads to you. And so this is something that, I'm going to show you a 6-minute video that we did that honestly generated, at the time was $3,000 in revenue. And since then, it's been over $12,000 in revenue from those clients that we generated from that 6-minute post. So this is a really effective way of using your time. And then the final thing is that in order to grow your business, this is diving a little bit into operations, but in order to grow your business, you need to have systems. You need for things to happen systematically and automatically so that you are not pulling all the levers and pushing all the buttons and wearing all the hats all the time. If you're a small business owner like I am, that is where we find ourselves a lot. It's exhausting. I totally get it. And so what we're going to show you today is a lot about how to systemize this infomercial content style of post, so that it's happening for you. So it's just happening and you don't have to worry about it. It's just automatic. Okay. So if that sounds cool, we're going to go on to stage 2 of this training, and I'm going to give you the lessons learned about applying these infomercial principles and how you can use them now very effectively in your own business. So key number 1 is value ads. So I call them value ads. And what do these ads do? Well, they increase your exposure, so you get a lot more reach because we're going to pay for it. It's an ad. We're going to tell Facebook and Instagram to push this, and I'm going to show you why in a second. They demonstrate your authority and your expertise because we already talked about this. You are going to be teaching something, you're going to be showing something, you're going to be demoing something that is going to reveal your expertise and your authority, so people are going to trust you, okay? And they're going to actually crank up your following. This was kind of a hidden bonus for me that I had no idea was going to happen. But when I started using this on my own social media accounts, in fact, I posted about this just yesterday, that I rapidly started to increase my following on social media by the thousandth to now I'm at 11,000 followers by accident using this technique. Okay. So what exactly is this? So value ads are educational content for newbies. We referenced this before. You wrote down a few ideas about what you could teach. Okay. These are educational pieces for people that are, I call them at the outset of your client journey. I love to use the image of an hourglass for marketing. So the idea is that lead comes in the top, right? They go through your content, they go through your nurture sequences, they get engaged with your brand, they buy from you here at the center point. They go through your operations, you deliver results for them, you send them the thing, they bought the product, they engage with the product, et cetera, et cetera. And rather than a funnel, because I don't like funnels because the lead then drops out, what you do is you simply go, okay, cool, I have a client, and now I'm going to sell them something else or get them to refer me a new client. Therefore, you're constantly recycling and you're not losing ground. So what we're talking about is content that goes at the very beginning. So these are for newbies. This is people that are just learning about your industry, just learning about you, just learning about what you do. And they're ultimately engaging with you on an initial stage of their journey with you and their company, right at the top. So make the content for newbies. Make it interesting, informative, and most of all, designed to sell them on the next stage. You don't have to sell them on a product, don't sell them on a service right away, but you want to sell them on the next level to the journey, right? Give them a small call to action. That could be follow me on Facebook. That could be download my lead magnet. That could be contact us for a quote. That could be a number of different things, but you want to sell them on the next stage. Okay. And we have some really cool scripts for that. And your content should solve a problem. I call them CSTPs. So as you engage with my brand, you'll hear me say this all the time. What's your CSTP? I say this to my private clients all the time. Okay, what's the CSTP for this? What's the CSTP for that? So what CSTP stands for is complete solution to tiny problem. So for example, you might have once again, well, let's talk about the cake, right? Baking cake thing. So you have a cake baking course, and your course has multiple stages in it, but you're going to give away your recipe for this delicious cream cheese icing. So you do a quick training on how to make cream cheese icing, and then you say, and if you want my recipe, right, here's how to get it. And you tell them how to get it. That recipe is a PDF, beautifully branded to you. And in that PDF, it's got offers for your cake baking course. And then maybe you've got more cooking courses or more baking courses that come after that. But the icing recipe is a complete solution to a tiny problem. Okay. We also see this in retail stuff. So for example, I'm going to show you an example in a bit where we use this concept for a discount on a product. That discount is a complete solution to a tiny problem. I want to buy this product. I don't want to pay full freight, or I want to get a deal. Here's the complete solution to tiny problem. So they can be educational, but they can also just be very situational. Okay. Make sense? And the idea is why I call them value adds is because you're giving value. Plus, we're going to turn this into an actual ad. So this post would go up on your Facebook page or up on your Instagram page, and then you actually just boost it, which is why we get the ratchet up following, is that it turns out when people see boosted posts, A, they look a little bit different. A, this post doesn't look like a regular ad whatsoever, right? And B, they wind up going to your page more often and actually liking it because they got value out of what you did. Didn't know that was going to be an outcome when I started these, but it really, really works. Okay. So what could you do for a value add? So you've got this list of problems, right, that you can solve. You've got this list of content ideas that you made a few minutes ago. I want you just to quickly, you can pause the video once again, just to quickly brainstorm a few CSTPs. So what are some things you could give away? Like if you're let's say you're a life coach, okay? And goal setting is an important part of what you do. Maybe you could give away your goal setting formula in a PDF format, knowing full well that they're going to have a hard time implementing this and getting traction on it without your help. But it's a great thing to give them. It's huge value for them, right? Maybe you're in a course creator and you can give away a certain section, like my friend, the Secret Mentor did. He's got this great masterclass where he's talking about wealth, and I'm going to actually show you his results in a few minutes about using this solution. And he gave away a PDF on these quantum wealth questions. Very cool idea. Great PDF, lots of traction with it. So what is a complete solution to a tiny problem that you could offer your audience that's related to what it is that you want to sell? So pause the video and go ahead and do that. Okay. Now that you're back, let's go on to key number 2. How do we make engagement or value adds even better? We turn them into engagement driving posts. So this was this tactic I tried between myself and my own social media manager back in January. Started kind of debating this in December a little bit. We really put ourselves to the test in January. And what I was able to produce was considerably different from a results perspective than she was. And ultimately, it's because our goals were different. So if your goal with your social media content is to generate leads so that you can make sales, you need these posts. The engagement driving post is where the magic happens. Because you and I both know that you can get all the likes you want, you can get all the shares you want. You could post quote cards from some of the greatest philosophers of all time, and everyone's going to love them. You can post pictures of cute dogs. You can post pictures of things and get traction on the post. Lots of views. Can you buy your groceries with those views? No. The fact is you're not The Rock. Okay. Views don't make any difference to you. If you're a celebrity and you're endorsing a brand, great. Right? If you're someone like the great Alex Hormozy and all you need is wide lens views so that you can sell more of your books because you are already worth hundreds of millions of dollars, fantastic. I don't know why you're watching this video. But the fact is that if you're a regular small business owner like I am, you need your social media to produce results, sales, money, clients. So the best way I have found in my experience is to create these engagement driving posts. And so you might be asking yourself, what exactly am I talking about? Okay, let me show you. So an engagement driving post is it gets you big traction, even though you're not a celebrity. Okay, this is going to push your content because of the way we structure the post, what we say in your post, and how you frame things. And you can take advantage now of the algorithm's magic, the algorithm showing things, because Facebook and Instagram, and this is where this really works. Okay, you guys, this is the platforms that it really works on. It doesn't work anywhere near as well on some of the others. We've tested it, doesn't work as well. So Facebook and Instagram is what I'm talking about here. They want you to stay on the platform. I don't know if you've ever tried this, but I've posted my YouTube content onto my Facebook. Terrible results. Brutal. Awful. I might get hundreds and hundreds of views on a quote post, right? But the fact is, I post to YouTube and I get like 2, 3. Hundreds of views on a quote, 2 on a YouTube post. They hate cross-platforming. They don't want you to leave Facebook. They do not want you to leave Instagram. So here's the thing. The engagement driving post, it solves that, tricks that, because they're staying right in the actual app. They're staying right in Facebook, right in Instagram to engage with your post. And they're commenting on it. They're engaging with the post, which drives the algorithm even further because the algorithm says, oh, look, this post is being engaged with. That's amazing. And then when you actually boost the post, it's even better. Okay. So you take advantage of algorithm magic and you get the audience to raise their hand from your post. They raise their hand and they say, I'm interested in what you're doing. I'm interested in getting that recipe. I'm interested in getting that free goal setting PDF. I'm interested in that wealth PDF. I'm interested in that discount. They raise their hand right there in real time in actual Facebook or Instagram. That's how it works. Okay. So what's the nature of this thing? These are the results. So what is it exactly? So this is a value add. So we talked about value adds up here. Okay. We talked about what they are. Okay. You've already thought about this. You've thought about what you could put together. You've thought about what you might give away. So this is a value add to give away your great lead magnet, your CSTP. And what happens is the audience comments on the post to get the lead magnet. Now, you've probably seen this already happening on Facebook and Instagram. Comment here, and I'm going to send you my free goal setting guide. Comment here, and I'm going to give you my white paper on this. Comment here, and I'll give you my 73 email scripts or whatever it is. You've seen this at work. I'm sure of it. Comment here to get my recipe. Comment here to get this coupon discount. You've seen this. Totally get it. Okay. And what happens is you actually, it's very powerful because the audience is engaging, it's commenting, the comments are going up and up and up and up and up and up and up on that post. And Facebook and Instagram are like, oh my gosh, we got to keep showing this to people. People love it. They're engaging with it. Okay. And what happens is you can then create a conversation directly in message about how you can help this person. In other words, they become a lead directly in the app, directly in the messages. Very powerful. All right. So let me show you real quick here what this starts to look like. So here we are. So this right here is a value add. Okay. And I boosted this. As I said, right, this is a value add right here. This is an example. I boosted this. So this is just a written version. Look at the amount of traction that I got from this. 149 people engaged with this post. Huge engagement level because I boosted the post. I got more traction out of it. Okay. And now let's see the next thing. This one right here. This was a post that we did with one of my companies. All right. Giving away a coupon. Okay. This is a 30% off your raw food purchase coupon. Gave this away. Look at the comments, 81 comments. I had to turn the post off. I had to turn the boost off because there was so much traction going on with this post. Right? 7 shares, 81 comments. Look at all the comments. Boom, look at them all. All these people saying, I want raw food. I want raw food. So a huge amount of leverage out of this, right? Very effective. And here's the fact of the matter is that all of those people that commented, I created conversations about feeding their dogs raw food right in their messenger. And here's the great thing about messages versus emails, because I know you have felt this. Message open rates, 98%. 98%. 98. Email open rates, global average is 21%. The average person receives 32 messages a day. The average person receives 100 to 120 emails per day. Their message inbox is a sacred place that often doesn't have you landing in any promotions tab at all. It's a direct message to them. Think of how powerful that is. What did we say at the beginning? In order to have more sales, you need more leads. In order to have more leads, you need to have more conversations. Okay, let me ask you real quick here. What would happen if we could add 50 conversations into your marketing today? 50 conversations. What would happen to your business? If you're anything like me, that would accelerate things rapidly. Huge difference. Just 50 conversations. Right? So this is a very powerful technique, and you can start to see it at work. And there's lots of different examples of it online. You can see it all over the place. But the fact is, this is a super effective way of getting directly into your client's inbox. Sorry, I thought I was sharing my screen again. And I'm not. There we go. So you can directly get into your customer's inbox with an actual message, and you trigger a far more sort of casual and really relaxed conversation where people are far more likely to actually be interested. And this is not those like spammy messages that you're getting in Facebook Messenger. Okay. This is not what that is. That's not what this is at all. Somebody has seen a piece of content. They comment on that piece of content, and that, like in the one about raw food, it was raw food, say raw food, right? They commented, they got the coupon directly sent to their messenger inbox. And you might say to yourself, okay, this sounds really good. And it sounds like it could really, really work for me. But this is the flaw. Okay. There is a very big catch to this method. Because when I was using this back in January, and I'm not going to show you those results right now, and frankly, because I didn't effectively execute it as well as I am these days. Flat out, full honest, we weren't as good at it back then as we are today. That when Sprout Social did this research back in 2023, they found that 69% of clients expect to be responded to within 24 hours on social media. So here's the thing. I'm doing these posts. Okay. The post goes out, comment such and such to get a coupon, comment such and such to get a lead magnet, comment such and such to get this recipe. Okay. And people are commenting. And I have a very short window of time where I have to respond to them and then send them the thing that they asked for. because you can imagine it from the other side. You're a person that's just made a comment, right? And you've said, yeah, I want this thing. And if you don't get it pretty quickly, right? If you don't get it almost right away, you've moved on with your day, haven't you? If that recipe shows up the next day because you said something at 11 o'clock at night and the person who owns that Facebook or that business and that Facebook page, they were sleeping and you don't get it, or there's time differences, right? I'm on the West Coast. East Coasters might ask for something and it turns out that's 5 a.m. in my time, but it's 8 a.m. for them. So how am I supposed to respond to them within a timely manner? Because 54% want you to respond within less than 2 hours. So it was incredibly time consuming, right? The method was very effective because I'm not taking people off of Facebook. I'm not taking them off of Instagram. They're not going to a landing page. They're not having to put in their email address and their phone number and their name. There's what we call that friction in the marketing world. This has almost no friction whatsoever. They simply say raw food. They simply say recipe. They simply say goals in the comment section, and they're immediately get sent. My friend Aaron was running his masterclass right now that was generating leads for his masterclass, right? Selling a what I believe it's a $6,000 product, right? His was comment wealth. But the problem is if you didn't respond within enough time, the lead was growing staler by the minute. And it didn't work. In fact, what started to happen was I would upset people because I didn't get back to them fast enough. Heaven forbid it was the weekend and I was with my kids. So how do you solve this problem? How do you solve this problem? Well, I got together with my software development team and we have created a social media robot. This is how you solve it. Okay. So what does this social media robot do? What happens is it eliminates all of the lead waiting time because it responds to your leads right away. No matter what time of day, no matter what time of night, no matter what day it is, no matter what continent they're on or what time zone they're in, boom, the robot responds. I love having robots do my marketing work for me. How about you? Yeah, robot responds right away. Boom, done. Then what happens is this actually saves you a bunch of time because we can program the robot actually identify quality leads out of the conversation that it starts to have with that person. And then it triggers conversations over and over and over again. What did we say? Sales need leads, leads need conversations. Those conversations need to be qualified as good leads. The robot does all the work. All the work. Imagine putting together a content video, teaching exactly what you're really good at, whatever that happens to be. Let's say you're that baker and you've got that course, okay? And so you want to teach people how to do something. So you're going to show them how to make great icing. And then you say, and for my delicious world-class icing recipe, comment icing in this post and I'll send it to you right away. They comment icing and your robot automatically responds with the recipe and says, hey, by the way, we have an entire cake baking course. Would you be interested in that? And if they say, yeah, that's great, it sends them the link to buy the course. You didn't have to do anything except make a 5-minute video on how to make great icing, which you're already really good at. Or if you're great at goal setting, or if you're great at being like productivity, or if you're great at dealing with relationships, or if you're phenomenal you're a phenomenal plumber and you want to give them a discount on their next purchase, or if you're in retail and you want to sell this pair of shoes and you're like, look at how great these shoes are. These are amazing. If you want to buy these, I'll offer you 20% off today, right? If you're in a restaurant and you're like, hey, Tuesdays are slow for us, so let's do a promotion Tuesday morning. Video goes out. Beautiful video of this appetizer. And we say, look, if you want 50% off appetizers, click here. We're giving away 50% off appetizer coupons for tonight. Click here. We'll send you one. Or comment appetizer below. Or comment, restaurant name below. We'll send you one. The power of this. And the robot does all the work. The robot does all the work. This is how you take the infomercial concepts of doing these trust building, right, long form content pieces and lacing those content pieces with calls to action going, hey, by the way, we're also doing this. And if you want to know more about it, comment here, right? Or if you want to get a discount on it, comment here. You're doing the same thing. We're applying the same principle the infomercial business has taught us to apply to your small business. And you can do this on a scale of you want 15 people to say yes, you want 150 people to say yes, or you want 1,500 people to say yes. It doesn't matter. Whatever your business can handle, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you need, you use the ad buying process to scale this up and down. Sound good? So let me show you really quickly here some results from this. So first off, let me jump over to the other screen. Here we are. We're here. So this is our Hourglass CRM software. And this is my buddy Aaron's secret mentor. Now, he did 3 videos, you guys. 3 videos for a $6,000 program. Count them up. That is 18 people enrolled. And you can see, pardon me, right here that the Reels videos did much better for him. Valuable information if you're a business owner. Where's my content most effective? Turns out, for Aaron, Reels are the best spot. That's the spot to go to. Reels. Okay, let's take a look at another example real quick. So we go over to just about pets. And we take a look at real quick here into, where is my Go Canucks Go comment automation sequence right there. 35 people enrolled to get that 30% off coupon. 35 people. Those people spent $3,000 on their first set of visits to our business, right? We use the same concept to promote our positive rewards program. 223 people enrolled, and this thing launched end of June. It is July 19th. We made this thing live July 1st. We started our rewards program. So the power of this is incredibly effective. And you can have all of this set up. So we have pretty in-depth sequences that we use with. Let me go over to the template here, content to cash templates. And so we set these things up for our clients. If you're interested in the Hourglass CRM and the software that makes this work, we can chat about that, because you can get all this stuff set up inside. But what we do is let's the comment automation for Facebook. This is pretty sophisticated how we roll this up. Okay, so you can see right here, right, that we've put a bunch of work, and there we go. So this is the sequence. There's a lot going on here, right? And we tailor this to your business. If you want us to set things up for you, this is what we do. This is what we're getting really, really good at, is helping you identify great content that's going to work for you, and then bolting our robot. Okay, this is the layout of our robot onto your business and into your socials, so that it does all the heavy lifting for you. This is what we're getting really good at. And if you're interested in this type of thing, then the best thing to do is actually just reach out to me. Okay, let's have a quick conversation. You can just direct message me, or you can put a comment here in this post on the training, and we can chat about this further. But the best thing to do is to book in a private call. So I'm going to have a consultation link to do a free consultation. We can talk about how this works, how we can apply it to your business specifically, and essentially demo how the concepts are that would work. But as a recap, remember, we wanted to take what the infomercial industry does really well, which is get attention and get big time reach. Okay, make an offer over the course of time. So you're building trust, you're demoing the product, you're demoing the service. In other words, you're delivering value to your prospects. We get them to raise their hand. From the infomercial world, you're getting them to call, or they're saying, go to this website and get this coupon code, whatever that is. It's the same principle. Pardon me. We're getting them to raise their hand and say that they're interested in what we have to offer by doing a lead magnet and attaching it, bolting it directly into the comment section of what it is we do. And the great part is that our software not only comments on the post. So you can see here real quick, all these comments, where are we here? This one, all these comments, pardon me, Just About Pets Wellness Center replied, Just About Pets Wellness Center replied, okay? I didn't reply to any of those people. The robot did. I gave the robot a half a dozen different ways in which to reply, and it replied to these people all the time. This is part of what drives the algorithm, is that there's responses happening. And then what happens is the robot sends them a private message, a direct message to their Facebook Messenger inbox or their Instagram DMs, and says, here's your free thing. In this case, it was, here's your 30% off coupon, bring it on into the store. And then it asks, do you have any questions about raw food? Have you been feeding raw food before? Conversations. Conversations lead to leads, leads lead to sales. So the robot does all the heavy lifting for you. So it takes a whole bunch of the workout. And we've been working quite a bit on structuring so that you've got great recipes, you've got great ideas for how to put this content into place and make it the most effective, because you can't eat likes, you can't pay your mortgage with shares. You need people to raise their hand from your social media and say, I want that. And that's what we do. So if you already have Hourglass, phenomenal. Just let me know. We'll upload all these systems directly in. And if you'd like to have us help you implement, let's have a conversation about that. If you don't have Hourglass already, you're interested in it, and you want to find out how this works, then follow the link below and we can schedule a call, a demo call, and we'll show you exactly how to implement this in your business. This is a powerful way of using your social media to crank it up to the next level. Because, my friends, you did a quick survey at the beginning here where you counted up some numbers. So here's the thing. If you are from 0 to 6, my friend, then it's time to start working on the business basics of your marketing. So get the page set up, get a marketing budget organized, lay out what you want your goals to be. Those are the basics that you need to have in place. If you right now have scored an 8 or a 10, it's time to push. It's time to grow. It's time to invest in your marketing, invest in your sales, because the world needs what you have to offer. So I hope you got great value out of this today, you guys. Once again, this is a quick training, and where we kind of went into how to use content on social media to really empower what it is that you're doing and scale up and do what you already do best, which is help people, show how you help people, and then get your audience to raise their hand and say they're interested. Okay, so if you want to get to the next level, please follow the link below, and we can schedule in a personal one-on-one call where I promise I won't cough. And I can demo out how this might work for you in your business and how to get your hands on this powerful Hourglass software. Okay, thanks so much, you guys. Have a great one. Talk to you soon.